Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And in this episode, after we rest in a second, I think it's going to be finally time to venture outside of Athkatla and do one of my favorite parts of the game, which is Trademeet and all of the quests over there. But first, we have 3 uses of our glasses of identification, so let's identify some usable items. If I stop misclicking, and maybe something that will sell well. So of course from Mechrath's lair we have this Wand of Cloudkill, which is nice. Then we have this Rod of Resurrection, which is an amazing item, although if you are familiar with the unmodded game you might spot a difference here, that it has 5 charges instead of 10, and its power is separated into 2 different spells, Raise Dead and Heal, whereas in the unmodded game that wand would do both at the same time. So for example, if someone died, we would be able to resurrect them with this rod with full HP, which understandably was considered a little bit too easy for the player when it comes to like someone dying in combat and then you could just bring them back with full HP just like that. So now we have these 5 Raise Dead charges which resurrect someone with 1 HP only, which is way more dangerous in combat. And of course we have 5 charges of heal, which is amazing. And that is just an amazing thing to be able to do, because first of all, this rod is usable by anyone. There are no class restrictions and no attributes needed. This can just be used by anyone. And you know, this heal power, of course, just fully heals someone after just this short wand delay. And this is also great because most of in-combat healing is generally done by using potions, but you have to be in control of that character so that they can themselves, you know, drink a potion. Unfortunately, you can't use anyone else to just like spill the potion right into someone else's mouth, I guess. But yeah, and sometimes, you know, we don't have control over that kind of character that is in danger and low health because they got disabled by some spell or effect or some such. Or that character maybe used something else already in that round, but we need to get them healed. So someone else can cast this heal spell near instantly to fully heal them up. So this is very valuable. And also, of course, the other disadvantage is that it only has 5 charges each, so we have to use them more sparingly or recharge these rods more often. And I say these rods because this is not the only one in the game. And here we have the full plate mail +1, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to be using the normal full plate mails with some protection items. And I've covered that that topic in Baldur's Gate 1, but just to quickly reiterate what that's about. These normal enchanted armors only have improved armor class compared to their normal, like non-magical version. And they cannot be stacked with protective items, such as a Cloak of Protection, for example. And if we just use the normal full plate mail with a protection item, our armor class is going to end up being the same, because we get this armor class bonus here, but also we are going to have better saving throws. So that's generally better, unless you really, you know, you have a lot of like accessories that you can't spare, and then later on, you know, you can spare the space for a protection item, and then later on some of the magically enchanted armors are way better because they are not just +1 enchanted, but more, and they also have different properties to them. So later on, we might use some of the better magical armors, but not yet, not now. And also Edwin leveled up in the process, so he's level 11. He gets some nice saving throw boosts and more spells. And yeah, now it's also time, because we're going to rest now, now it's also time to rework our spells on many characters. So first let's look at Senashira's selection. I'm going to remove that slow, and for some upcoming encounters I'm going to memorize more remove magic. On level 4 I think I'm going to get rid of spirit armor, and I'm going to get, this is red, okay, so Fire Shield red we're going to get. And at level 5 I think I'm going to remove chaos and give myself another spell immunity. Now Edwin is going to have some more spell slots. Edwin is not going to be modified that much, I think, although we are going to get him another slow. Here at level 4 we're going to get him Maybe he can get this spirit armor and cast it on Senashira at one point. But I think we are going to rework this still a little bit later. And here we are going to give him, I think, another spell immunity as well. And now, when it comes to Jaheira, I think we are going to rest once more a little bit later before a certain encounter, but if we don't end up doing that, I am going to give her this Flame Blade spell. There is a plan behind this. And here, this might stay the same. I might rework this a little bit later so that she can have maybe more Dispel magics instead of this like Invisibility Purge, but I might use it in a certain encounter. We'll see. Also, I think since we have the Staff of Curing, we might get rid of this neutralized poison for now. Once she has more level 4 slots, we might get back to having one memorized. But I think we might just have more nymphs, I guess, for now. This is good, and here I'm going to memorize Heal, just so we have one Fire Elemental and one Heal. And also Anomen got some more stuff. And you know what, also on Jaheira, let's have one less Heal and one more Armor of Faith, so we have 2 on our Divine Casters. Here let's get another drop on Holy Might. Here a Zone of Sweet Air, that's a useful thing to have memorized. We're not going to need Negative Plane Protection, so I think I might give him perhaps another Holy Might, and we're just going to buff him up a little bit more. We're going to need more Chaotic Commands for where we're going, and at level 6 I might give him maybe an Aerial Servant. Also, what we're going to do is we're going to actually release our Familiar so that it also can rest and reload his spells, because he still only has you know, the mirror images, and I might want to use his AoE invisibility in the future, so it actually has to be out and about and rest with together with us, I guess. So so that it can also get his spells refreshed. Let's go for the Royal Room. Alright, no dream. There's also going to be another dream sequence soon, I think. Yeah, so now he has that AoE invisibility. We can bring him back to our pack. And it's time for us to go.
If it must be done.
So yeah, Trademeet. I love the area. Oh, this is also a cutscene from Trademeet, really. That's how it looks. Of course, indicating that the night has started. And we don't even have Trademeet on our maps, on our map right now. So here's Flydian, and he is going to inform us about some kind of trouble in Trademeet. He was sent here by the High Merchant of Trademeet to find someone to help our town. So this High Merchant, Lord Logan Coprith, is willing to offer a reward. So what kind of difficulties? Apparently the town is under attack by forest animals, and this is pretty mysterious, because normally the druids from a local druid grove has always lived peacefully with the inhabitants of Trademeet, but something changed in recent times. Yeah, nobody knows why they're being attacked. We've done nothing to deserve this. We're not even positive the druids are responsible. They've never done anything like this before. Yeah, so of course we're going to investigate. He's going to show Trademeet on our map, and we've been known to, of course, resolve different troubles in the past, so we're going to go there. Here there's also an inn called the Crooked Crane, and there is some stuff to explore in there, but we're going to do that later. Also there's a lich in a hidden room, for whom I have a special plan, because he guards a cool item that I want to showcase in the playthrough. Well, I want to get it pretty soon, I would say, because normally in the unmodded game, he basically guards a longsword called Daystar, and in the unmodded game he's one of the easier liches, so he's not too tough to deal with, and also you can just steal Daystar from a chest and just run out. But SCS makes a couple of changes to that encounter where they buff him up a lot and bring basically all of the easier, you know, quote-unquote weaker liches to their proper lichdom, I guess. And also that encounter is changed so that you cannot actually leave the room as long as that lich is still alive, so you can't just steal it. So in SCS you either have to delay that encounter until later, until you're like properly equipped to deal with liches, or use some special tactics. And I am going to to showcase some pretty cool tactics against this lich, but that's going to happen after we're back from Trademeet, and I'm going to elaborate more then. So yeah, we've managed to acquire the locations of quite a few different places on our map, so let's go to Trademeet. Oh, and here is the ambush by some slavers, and they have a lot of orogs, which are just decently dangerous at this point on the game, just melee fighters. And I think they have like 2 fighters of their own. I think they might be archers, and they have a mage with them. So Edwin is right in the middle of the whole dangerous situation, so we're going to give him a potion of invisibility. So drink it, Edwin, and get out of there. Senashira, of course we have no buffs. So Senashira is going to just quickly... I don't think I want to use Stone Skin yet. I'm going to buff up with mirror images. Then I could cast Insect Plague on one of these orogs, and it would surely spread onto the wizard, but I want to save our Insect Plague. I think a very quick to cast spell like Defensive Harmony is in order here. Anoman, I think, is going to... Or actually... I was just considering a couple of options there. I wanted to maybe not cast anything with Jaheira so that she can use her Wand of the Heavens to perhaps interrupt this wizard, but Anoman is going to use that wand, and he's just going for now to attack whoever's closest to him. Also, Kiranai is just going to run away, because I don't want to use, I think, a potion of... to improve her armor class, and she's just going to throw some daggers from a distance. And that's it for now. We only have 5 party members right now. Alright, so let's check out the pre-buffs of that wizard. Stone Skin, Minor Globe, Improved Invisibility. So actually, Kiranai, we need you to get rid of that that Improved Invisibility status.
Yes.
And I think Senashira might be able to position herself close to that wizard, because this is going to be our first target. Alright, so Anoman... Oh yeah. Edwin, just go outside so that you can cast some spells from a safe distance in a second. Alright, remove magic on Senashira. So her mirror images were dealt with. I'm going to cast another set of those in a second. Now, Edwin from a distance is going to cast a Glitter Dust in there, so that hopefully the damage potential of all of these orogs can be severely limited. And you just keep... Yeah, you just keep... Actually, we might also use one Holy Smite in the middle of this to deal some damage, soften them up a little bit, but also blind them. And then Edwin is going to seal the deal with his Specialist Glitter Dust, hopefully. And Kiranai just needs to... Okay, the illusions were dispelled on this mage now. So now Anoman is going to pass over that wand to Jaheira, so that Jaheira can interrupt this mage soon, and we need to get Senashira out of there as well. Alright, so Anoman managed to cast that spell. It should be pretty effective. Yeah, some of them got blinded, 4 of them. Apparently, if I'm looking correctly by just skimming through the information quickly. Anyway, you can use that, you can prepare with your... Actually, you can attack her. And you can attack her from a distance. 2 orogs shouldn't be too much of a danger for Kiranai. She should be able to withstand a couple of hits. Alright, Senashira is prepared to go in as well. Alright, she is casting, so let's use the wand on her, and perhaps Senashira can interrupt her with her electricity damage. And Edwin, just be safe here. Alright, so a couple more got blinded by Glitter Dust. Very nice. Now we can concentrate our efforts on this wizard, which apparently does not get interrupted too easily. Alright, she casts Slow on Kiranai, but Kiranai was so far away that she's the only one affected by that spell. Okay, Edwin, maybe use mirror images so that they leave you alone a little bit and you can actually cast something. Alright, the wizard is dead. Very nice. Now we can get rid of these close by dangerous orogs that are not blinded and are threatening some of our guys. So she's not going to be able to outrun being slowed anyone, so I'm going to switch her to melee weapons. Alright, Edwin is safe for the time being. Well, apparently not that safe, because they still got a hit to the true Edwin amongst his all mirror images. Anyway, let's just focus our fire on these that are still dangerous. So let's save Kiranai from harm. Okay, all of these archers, as you can see, the blinded targets, you know, they can't see anything, so they just kind of wander aimlessly unless someone gets into their like close visual range. Then they will, you know, be able to notice them and be able to attack. Although they are, of course, debuffed by that blindness, but still. Archers cannot, of course, use their ranged weapons. They're randomly wandering exactly where they need to be wandering in. Although I think this Orog is not blinded. So at least he is... it's okay that he did that, but no one else, please. Of course, glitter dust, the weakness of glitter dust is that it does not last for such a long time. So I think some glitter dusts just now dissipated. And I think these ones that were blinded by... okay, he's not blinded anyway. So I was just about to say that Holy Smite I think blinds for a little longer than glitter dust, but this guy's morale is broke, so that's why he's just running away in fear. Let's put someone in melee to discourage this guy from shooting his bow. Alright, now he's permanently discouraged. He's not going to be shooting anymore, that's for sure. Alright, so we've dealt with this this little ambush. I think that was pretty cool. Now I'm just going to individually loot these guys because they might have some interesting things, and the quick loot feature is going to shine here because plenty of like same type enemies died here, so we can just quickly loot whatever like little gold and little treasures they have. But unfortunately with quick loot, if they're, you know, it's going to like default to the last page, I guess. So that's why I'm looting in this way. Okay, some short swords. Here I can hold on to them for now. Some more arrows +1, some scrolls, just minor stuff. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, I'm going to put this ring of regen on Anoman, so over the travel time he can regen probably to full, depending on how many hours of travel we have left to Trademeet. Right, 10 hours, so he regened fully. Now Kira and I can have that. Alright, so now we can see the Trademeet militia being engaged in combat with some wild animals, like Flydian informed us. They're, as we can see, it's true what he told us, that Trademeet is indeed under attack by these like wild animals for some reason. Very easy to deal with. And now the militia captain is going to brief us a little bit about what's going on. Yeah. A revolt of nature is basically going on. And she directs us to the mayor, the High Merchant, Lord Logan Coprith. And also informs us that the townsfolk are suspicious of outsiders, because they blame the druids for their miseries and see strangers as druid servants and spies. Yeah, so the townsfolk are going to be pretty distrustful of us, as she says. But we can still talk to a couple of ones to get a better understanding of what's going on. Here's a genie tent that I will visit in a second. A little later, once we get to know what's up with the genies here. So yeah, we have some merchants, and yeah, they're going to actually tell us about Rafi, a caravan manager, I think would be the correct name of his occupation. And they're going to basically inform us about the trade being completely stopped in this town, and not only by the animal attacks but primarily by the genies, and we're going to get to know a little bit more about that. Of course I'm clicking through, but as always feel free to pause and read in detail all of these lines. Here's Rafi, yeah, the caravan master for a group, and basically from these merchants and from him we're going to be able to learn that these genies for some reason basically magically manipulate all of the caravans to deal only with them and sell all of their goods to the genies for like paltry prices, for dirt cheap. So they basically accumulate all of the goods and drive the prices up so that none of the townsfolk can afford anything. So the caravans don't supply any of the other merchants, they all supply only the genies, and you know, the genies set prices that are so high that no one buys from them. And here's his wife.
Greetings, good customer. A pearl to you.
What is it?
Not much to say there. So yeah, we get a little bit of a better understanding on what's going on. And those are basically going to be the first two quests that we have to deal with. The animal attacks and then the problem with the genies like monopolizing the trade here and completely putting to stop any trade going on. And that's basically, once we are done with those two quests, this is going to unlock way more of Trademeet a little bit later on. So there's a lot of places like Tyrus's home or Tyrus's home or like the Smithy or like the Luraxel estate or the Alibakar estate. Those are relevant places later. Like we have no... We're actually going to go to the Smithy, but we're not going to be able to purchase anything there. We can talk with some of the traders here. And here there's a selection of helmets, and I think this one we don't have yet. Although, of course, I don't know why I'm really picking them up, because we are always going to be wearing some magical helmets, but I'm just a collector, you know? Some cool-looking helmets. And I guess we can give them... I think Animan is we can drop this one. Animan can collect some helmets.
Yes?
So yeah, a lot of stuff is going to be unlocked in Trademeet once we have dealt with these two
What is it?
first like big quests here. There's like a gypsy family here. They don't have anything interesting to say except Kveroslava here, whom we're going to talk to in a second once we have recruited another party member. And here there's a pretty cool thing with Wilfred the Red being in this pleasure tent, as they will call it. Yeah, so of course, because of the trading being put to a halt and all this trouble with the economy, she was basically forced to like let go of all of her working girls here. Only Annalyn is left, and she is exclusively hired by Wilfred over there. And she's going to complain about him, about having to listen to his story about he killed a dragon, apparently, but apparently I think Mistress Jean here told us that yeah, this Wilfred is built like a pair of twigs and couldn't lift a sword, never mind wield one. So his story seems pretty improbable. So I'm going to quick save, and we're going to first talk to him normally. Yeah, so he's from Luskan, and apparently he's a big adventurer, because he managed to kill a dragon all by himself. And of course, as always, you know, feel free to pause and read in detail, but that's basically it. You know, after a valiant struggle, he managed to slay a dragon and obtain a portion of its hoard. So that's why he's so rich, that he's the only one basically able to pay for anything in this town, it seems. But yeah, we can say that it's impressive. And he has to go, and he leaves. But I'm going to quick load, and if we have a high enough wisdom, which we are going to have by drinking this potion of insight, which is going to set our wisdom to 18, after listening to his story, we can go a little bit differently here about it. After listening to his story, we're going to be able to call his bluff, because we're wise enough to see through it. You're lying, Wilfred. And he's going to admit to that he was traveling through the Troll Hills with the caravan and got separated because he responded to a call of nature, and got lost, and then stumbled into a cave of a dragon, a small one, and he was sleeping. So I helped myself to some of its gold, and I got out as quickly as I could. Please don't tell anyone. I've got a reputation to uphold. I'll do anything. Oh, here, take this. Just don't tell anyone. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. And he leaves. And we get 1,000 gold out of that and 1,000 experience. And for the longest time, I didn't know about this. I just thought he was just, you know, a character there, telling a story and, like, whatever, not being involved in anything more than that. But apparently, you know, there is a little outcome here that we can actually profit from in terms of both gold and experience. And now these women are going to be thankful that we made him leave. Yeah, also some talk about the genies that deprived almost everyone of coin. There's not only nothing to buy, but pretty much no one can afford anything anymore. Yeah, and now Annalyn, we can't hire her services because she needs a break after the week that Wilfred spent there, I guess, with her being hired permanently or and exclusively to him. So yeah, a little encounter there. There's a book stand with some books that we can get from there, but nothing that interesting. There are some minor goodies in these containers. In Athkatla, generally, containers like those are empty, but in Trademeet, there is some very minor goodies that we can get, like that potion, for example, from the crate earlier. Here there's also a pretty funny fellow. That's going to be Roddy. He's going to be claiming that he is a former ranger.
It's a fine enough day, isn't it?
Yeah, he said that used to be a ranger, and now he's basically going to be blaming the gods, some kind of a curse of the gods that is, according to him, the reason that the animals are attacking. And this is pretty funny if you ask him, like, what does this have to do with you being a ranger? And he says, nothing, just wanted you to know that I was a good person before I fell and all. So he claims to be a fallen ranger here, apparently. Alright. Yeah, so we are going to save Trademeet. Now, before we go to the mayor's house, where we got directed to, and there's a couple of other things still to do. Actually, first let's go to Viatri's pub. There are some things to showcase there, and a certain difference. Because once we recruit the party member that we want to recruit here, we are actually not going to be allowed to stay in his pub.
This will not take long.
So here's Vikang. Apparently recognizes a ball spawn in us. But he's very afraid, apparently. Lightning is going to struck him and he just teleports out. And there is a follow-up to this in Throne of Ball, so we are going to have to wait for a little bit more of an explanation about what just happened for quite a while. And no one here is really going to have too much to say to us right now, because, you know, the mood of everyone basically is pretty dire, you know. And some of them, these people are going to open up a little bit once we have dealt with their troubles that they're dealing with. And here Viatri says that he wants us to keep a low profile because he doesn't want any trouble in his inn, and we can actually, you know, he doesn't have any supplies. He's also going to tell us more about the genies, but we actually can rent a room here right now, and there's nothing in the other room, but let us explore it. It looks nice. So anyway, here he actually is willing to, you know, give us a room, but very soon he's not going to be willing to do that, at least as long as we have that certain companion in our group. Because of course, as we know, the townsfolk are very suspicious of the druids and outsiders in general, and some of them are going to think that you know, we have something in common with their troubles, especially after we recruit that certain companions and that companion.
We only seek to know if you have truly fallen away.
You risk injury if you come any closer, my misguided friend. You have forced my hand.
I like how that other voice line, or how that other line of that male monk was not voiced, and when he approached, it actually got covered up by the other voice line, and she, of course, sounds like Hexat, but he said, "Tell us the truth, brother, we grow tired of your games." And he just basically knocks them the hell out and flees. So that was Rashaad that we've seen in Baldur's Gate 1. But anyway, there's going to be a little follow-up. Yeah, so apparently they are going to claim that Rashaad betrayed the Sun Soul Order. Yeah, and they're also going to inform us about this heresy called the Dark Moon, that apparently it claims that the two goddesses, Selune and Shar, are just two aspects of the same goddess. So we can like respond whatever. Alright, and Rashaad is actually going to approach us
What is it?
in a second.
Speed will be done. Yes?
Alright, there he is.
Excuse me. I am Rashaad in Bashir.
So yeah, we have met in Baldur's Gate 1, although very briefly, but I guess this is the most appropriate.
Of course. Forgive me.
Yeah, apparently he has a lot of his mind, a lot on his mind.
I walk a new path, one I'm altogether uncomfortable with. A new cult has formed, based on the Dark Moon heresy, that my moon goddess Selune and Shah, goddess of the night, are but facets of a single deity. I seek to join this new cult.
And of course, you know, he's still faithful to Selune,
You are right. I remain true to Selune.
and this is just a ruse to join the Dark Moon heretics.
The Dark Moon heretics are led by a man calling himself Collis Derathan. I believe Collis Derathan is an alias of Alagoth, the man who killed my brother Gamaz.
So yeah, basically, this is a reference to his Baldur's Gate 1 part of his storyline that we didn't really experience in our playthrough. But yeah, here, this storyline of his is actually pretty decent. I think in Baldur's Gate 2, from the Enhanced Edition companions, Rashaad I like the most. In Baldur's Gate 1, I think Dorn is my favorite, but in Baldur's Gate 2, Rashaad is actually a pretty cool companion. Anyway, so he suspects that this Collis Derathan is Elorgoth, a main villain of his, or kind of like a main opponent, I guess, a certain villain that he wants to hunt down.
While tracking Alagoth, I chanced upon a Dark Moon heretic.
Yeah, not a lot of his lines are actually voiced for some reason.
He didn't believe it. As a monk of the Dark Moon, he had met Alagoth.
Yeah, Collis was a stranger to him. But Rashaad has this hunch, I guess. His gut feeling tells him that this has to be Elorgoth, and of course we can...
I know how it must sound.
Yeah, yet in my heart I know it to be true.
Even if Darathon isn't Alagoth, the heresy clearly threatens all who serve Selune.
He's definitely the most likable of all of the Enhanced Edition characters in Baldur's Gate 2. And he's also a pretty cool character because he's a monk, and finally now in Baldur's Gate 2, and especially Throne of Bhaal, he can come into his own, because generally when it comes to monks, the problem is that they cannot use almost any gear, and all the power that they possess is closely tied to their level. So a low-level monk usually is pretty weak, and then as they gain levels, they get various passive bonuses, and their attacks get better, and all that stuff. So in Baldur's Gate 2, and especially in Throne of Bhaal, when he reaches some proper level, at least like 14 plus, because at 14 they get a large boost to their magic resistance, and then once he gets into the 20s, he is a good companion. And also because it's so easy to fix some of his attribute weaknesses, like strength is very easy to fix that in Baldur's Gate 2. Like you could just give him the belt that Jaheira is wearing to instantly give him 19 strength and just be done with that. Because he has kind of like very average, kind of like 3rd edition stats, basically. Anyway, I don't want to recruit him.
Farewell.
Yeah. So he's just going to stay here
What is it?
if we reconsider sometime, but of course we will not. And here's Trissa. She's not going to be
Well, I certainly
too
don't
helpful.
like the look of you.
And later she will also have troubles, like considering us heroes, I guess. Also, let's first go to the mayor's house. There are a couple of things of significance in the northeastern part, but it's actually better that we talk with some people here already.
Certainly.
Dang, time just flies, man. There's so much to do, even before engaging in the proper adventures, and we're already basically at a point where we should end the episode. And I haven't even shown everything here properly. Well, I guess we're going to have to engage in all that in the next episode, which I think I'm going to already like record and just post too, because I'm really not satisfied with. Although there was some action in this one, that ambush. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.